political organizations. The organization which I will be focusing on is RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. The question can very well come as to why I am not dealing with Muslim League. The question can come as to why I am not talking of BJP, Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, Bajrang Dal or many other of these. The simple reason is that I recognize, as Nehru said, that both type of communalisms are dangerous. But the majoritarian communalism is more dangerous because it has the potential to destroy the democracy in a country. In that context, the majoritarian communalism is expressed today by RSS. And RSS, why RSS? Because RSS is the parent controlling organization regulating the activities of BJP, Bajrang Dal, Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram and all those affiliates who are spreading the Hindu communal politics all over the country. Now, as we have seen that RSS belonged to group B, it did not participate in the freedom movement. Now, why was RSS formed? Already there was Hindu Mahasabha. Hindu Mahasabha was participating in the elections. In the decade of 1920s, with Gandhi's launching of non-cooperation movement, large number of average people started joining the politics. At the same time, in the area of Maharashtra called Vidarbha, there was an agitation going on inspired by pro-Dalit values, and this agitation was against the domination of Brahmins. This agitation was against the hegemony of landlords. This was called non-Brahmin movement. Now, because of these two phenomena, number one, average people coming into the political stream. Number two, the Dalits raising their voice for equality. Because of these two, the upper caste got threatened. They felt that something is going wrong with their social status. Now, so these two were the basic reasons for coming up of RSS in Nagpur region of Vidarbha in Maharashtra. RSS was also inspired by some outside values, and these outside values came from Nazism of Hitler. During that era, if you remember, Hitler was coming up. He was putting forward a concept of nationalism based on race. He was launching campaigns against minorities in his country, and this type of nationalism founded the base of understanding of RSS. So RSS began its politics taking Hindutva brought forward by Savarkar. Here let's be very clear about four words which we should understand. What are these words? Number one, Hindu. Number two, Hindu religion. Number three, Hindutva. Number four, Hindu nation. Now I must tell you that the word Hindu is not found in ancient Indian scriptures. It was first introduced by those people coming on from the western region, coming from Iran, coming from Afghanistan. When they came to this side, they saw Sindhu river, and in their language the word Sa is pronounced less often. What is used more often is Ha. So they pronounce Sindhu as Hindu. So the Hindu word came up as the word for those people living on the eastern side of river Sindhu, meaning thereby that Hindu word initially came as a geographical word describing the people in a particular geographical locality. Later on, all those religions developing in this region were identified as Hindu religion. Now in this Hindu religion, there are two types of tendencies. One type of tendency is that of Brahminism, and the second type of tendency is that of Shamanism. What is the difference between the two? Brahminism is based on the Purush Sukta of Vedas. This Purush Sukta says, it asks the question, it explains as to how the Varna system came into being. In Purush Sukta, the question begins as to how did Varnas came into being. And the answer is offered that from the body of Virat Purush, Lord Brahma created 4 Varnas. From the mouth, Brahmins. From the arms, the Kshatriyas. From the thighs, the Vaishyas. And from the feet, the Shudras. So, since Lord Brahma himself has created Varnas, how should be they abolished? Why can they be opposed? This is the value of Brahminism. In contrast to, in opposition to the Brahminical values, came up Shramanical religious traditions. Now these Shramanical traditions like Nath, Tantra, Siddha and Bhakti, they again belong to the broad region of Hindu religion, but they don't believe in the hierarchy of caste and gender. After British came into India, they identified Brahminism as the sole Hindu religion, and since then Brahminism has become the dominating tendency, presenting itself as the Hinduism within the Hindu traditions. So today, when the word Hindu is used, it becomes synonymous with the Brahminical values which were used as the foundation by Savarkar for coining his word Hindutva. Now what is Hindutva? Hindutva is confused to be a religion. Please don't get confused. It sounds as if it is a religion, but Hindutva is not Hindu religion. Hindutva means the Hinduness. Savarkar says that a combination of Hindu race, a Aryan blood, combination of Brahminical culture and the language and the other norms propagated by them is Hindutva. It is very easy to say who is a Jain, who is a Buddha, who is a Christian, who is a Muslim, but Hindu traditions being diverse, it was very difficult to define as who is a Hindu, because there is no uniform ritual, no uniform belief, they are multiple. So to centralize this, Savarkar offered a political definition of Hindu, and that is the definition which is again the base of RSS politics. What is this political definition? As per Savarkar, a person who regards the land stretching from Sindhu to the seas and a person regarding this land as holy land and a person regarding this land as a fatherland, he is a Hindu. So automatically in this definition, everybody living in this part is a Hindu, barring Christians and Muslims who are outsiders. So in this Hindutva word, this is a very clever political coining of the word. Now RSS started, its foundation was done by 5 Chittapavan Brahmins. They decided that they will not be operating on democratic grounds. So how will they operate? They appointed one Sar Sangh Chalak, meaning supreme dictator. Now this supreme dictator, before he comes to know that he is dying, he will put the name of his successor in an envelope, and that person will be leading the organization till he decides something. So this is how it began, on a dictatorial principles from top down. At that time, the national movement was building it up from bottom upwards. Everybody could participate in the political parties, everybody could participate in the national movement, and they had a right to choose the people who represent them within their political parties. So on one hand, it began at a dictatorial principle. On the second hand, they developed a module of indoctrination training of their Swayam Sevaks, their followers. They are called Swayam Sevaks, means volunteers. Now how were they trained? The module was this, that ours is a Hindu nation from times immemorial. Muslims invaded it, Christians invaded it, and now people like Nehru are trying to say that this nation belongs to everybody. But this nation doesn't belong to everybody. It is a Hindu nation belonging only to Hindus. So to counter these things, negative influences of the people like Nehru, the values of national movement which don't regard it as a Hindu nation, so under the leader of RSS, Hindus will establish a Hindu Rashtra. Now, The question came when RSS was formed. Some of the women relatives of the RSS volunteers, they also wanted to join RSS. So one interesting story goes, then one Lakshmi Bai Kelkar wanted to join RSS, and she wrote a letter to RSS Supremo Hedgewar that please permit us to join RSS. Now normally at that time in all the organizations of Group A, women were participating, women were welcome, they were becoming part of the social and political life of the country. But with this letter, Dr. Hedgewar got very disturbed, and because the cause of disturbance was that RSS, as its name suggests, it's a word coming from masculine gender, Swayam Sevak. So how can women be the part of these organizations? Because according to RSS, it is only the patriarchal norms which can establish the Hindu nation. So what should women do? Women should form another organization which will be subordinate to RSS. And what will be the name of this organization? The name of this organization will be Rashtra Sevika Samiti. Now names tell a lot of political agenda. Please note, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, Rashtra Sevika Samiti. I hope you have guessed that males themselves are a nation, so the word Rashtriya, and women are the servants of them. That's why Rashtra Sevika Samiti. The second thing is that the word Swayam is missing in the organization meant for women. What is Swayam? Swayam means one's selfhood, one's self. Because according to every patriarchal ideology, be it Muslim fundamentalism, Christian fundamentalism, Hindutva, RSS, Hindu fundamentalism, Nazism, fascism, all these regard women as subordinate to men. And this becomes very clear in the adoption of the word Rashtra Sevika Samiti. RSS was basically formed to put forward the values of Manusmriti in the modern form. How can I prove this? One is, I have already said, in the name of Rashtra Sevika Samiti, the equality of women is already taken away. And as in Manusmriti, the secondary position of women is brought in through a very clever maneuver by naming that organization in that particular way. Now, how to keep Shudras at the secondary level? Because in the modern times, currently one has to believe that all are equal at the level of make-believe. At the level of make-believe, you will say all are equal. But subtly, how to give a message that we are not equal? For that, they have brought forward an ideology called integral humanism. What does integral humanism means? Integral humanism, though this word sounds very interesting, but its meaning is very retrograde. What is the meaning of this word? This word integral humanism says that as any organization, its different components are balanced with each other. For example, take a human body. All the different organs are doing their different parts. Head is doing its own part, arms are doing its own work, legs are doing their own work. Similarly, in the society, different type of people are performing their own functions. So we want an integral humanism in which the traditional occupations are maintained. Now this is a way of giving a signals that Dalits should remain where they are, and Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Shudras, they will continue to remain what they do. Now RSS today claims to be a very patriotic organization, but we know that its major leaders never participated in the freedom movement. Sometimes they have made the bogus claims that they were part of the freedom movement, but sometimes also some of them went to jails as a matter of exception. But overall, it was not a movement which they endorsed, it was not a movement in which they participated. Now after India's freedom in 1947, 15th August, this stream started accusing Mahatma Gandhi of appeasing Muslims in a very serious way. It started a hate propaganda not only against Muslims but also against Mahatma Gandhi. The result was that Nathuram Godse, a trained volunteer of RSS, he killed Mahatma Gandhi in the cold blood on 30th January 1948. At that time, RSS was banned because people knew the connection of Godse with RSS. And Sardar Patel, who was the Home Minister, he went on to say that RSS has spread the communal poison in the society, and it is because of this communal poison that we had to lose the father of our nation. I must tell you, when Mahatma Gandhi was murdered, at that time, by word of mouth, it was spread in the Vidarbha region RSS branches that on 30th January evening, very happy news is going to come. And that news, what was that news? That news was the loss of father of the nation, which shattered many people emotionally and physically. But that was a matter of joy and pleasure for RSS. It distributed sweets to celebrate a particular event which was tragic for the whole nation. And at that time, Sardar Patel not only banned RSS, but it refused to accept the apology that they have nothing to do with this, because people knew very firmly that Nathuram Godse was a trained volunteer of RSS. And Nathuram Godse's brother Gopal Godse as much conceded this fact in various interviews given from 1993 to 1998. In 1998, Gopal Godse, brother of Nathuram Godse, gave an interview to Times of India, where he said that myself and my brother, we had never left RSS. Then the interviewer asked him, then why did you say in the court, why did Nathuram say in the court that you people have left RSS, you have nothing to do with RSS? Then Gopal Godse says, we had to say this to protect our other colleagues who were members of RSS.